Hello, this is a video for my prospective banjo students for the Fire in the Mountain, Music in the Mountain I should say, camp. What does beginner intermediate mean? To me it means intermediate, but accommodating to beginners. So that can change if everyone is a beginner, or there's more absolute beginners than intermediate, then I'll shift the approach. But the approach, even then, will be aiming to get you to intermediate as quickly as possible. Sometimes that's not possible in that short time. Sometimes we move very quickly. I mean, everyone's different, of course. So what I would say is for the beginners, first of all, don't be afraid if you're the only person there that seems like a beginner and everyone else is just being modest. I'm not going to suddenly fly ahead and leave you behind. It's easy, especially in that lovely environment, it's very easy to find a way to all be doing our own thing together. So don't worry about that. But what I would say for beginners is there's a few things you can practice which will really move things on a bit if you can practice them before the camp. So I'm just going to talk about some of the basic things I teach when I teach beginners so that you can be having a look at them. Okay, and what I think would be good would be for those of you that are beginners to have a few things to practice before we get there, and then it will really help us to move along quicker. If you don't manage to do this, you're not obliged to do this, but I can imagine you might be excited to come, and perhaps you want to do a bit of prep. So, a few things that we might want to do. We might want to get our banjo in tune. So we'll be playing in G tuning to start with. As you probably know, there's several tunings on the banjo. We'll probably be playing in what we call G tuning. So the notes are G, D, G, B, D. And you can easily find online resources where you'll see what looks like a banjo with the notes, and you click on them and they ring, and you can set there's usually a little checkbox you can set that says repeat cycle or something, so it will keep playing the same note while you try to tune it. So yeah, practice getting in and out of tune. Secondly, we're going to call the strings by number names, so maybe get used to that. This one down here is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your 5th string. 5th string being the one that only goes up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another thing that could be useful is, if you haven't already got some claw hammer technique going, you want to practice this. So your finger, we're holding our hand like this with our thumb and our finger ready. We're going to play these two outside strings, string 1 and string 5 right now. So as your finger now, the back of your finger now, we don't pluck upwards. We do in other styles, but not in claw hammer. Not usually in claw hammer. So as we bring that finger down to, you're basically like pushing through the note towards the banjo. Some people end up hitting the thing. I do quite often. Depends how. As that hand comes down, your thumb wants to land on the 5th string at exactly the same time. So 1, if we're going to come in on beat 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Notice that my thumb is pushed on the string and it stayed there, not bouncing away. Now when my hand comes away, obviously this happens a lot quicker, when my hand comes away, that thumb's already there and it can pull the string. You get 1 for nothing basically. Which is why players sound like they can play really fast. It's because half the notes are just happening on their own, because you've already put the hand there when you put the first note down. So when you've mastered your wonderful claw hammer technique there, you can practice getting this spacing between the 4 strings. So you don't have to play them if you're driving yourself or anyone else mad. You can damp the strings even like this. But I'm going to leave them ringing for now. So you're going to just play each string with the same method I just described. So the outside one, string 1, now string 2, string 3. I've got to go now. I'm not going to get to string 4 because it's pouring with rain. Hello, we're indoors now. Sorry the light's not very nice here and it's a bit of a scruffy room, but let's carry on. So where did we got to? Where do we get to? String 1, string 2, string 3. So do it 4 times each. String 4. And back up again. 3, 2 for 4 times. String 1 4 times. So the technique's called claw hammer. It's not called floppy hand brush. It's claw hammer. So it's hammering in straight down like you were banging a nail. You wouldn't bang a nail from the side, would you? So we're coming down. We're going to catch the first string with our nail, fingernail, and the thumb ends up cocked on that 5th string, and then plucks as it comes away. When you've got the hang of that, you're going to try to do the same thing on the other 3 strings. It'll feel awkward at first, you won't be able to find where those strings are, but in time, this distance will help you, because you'll have muscle memory. So don't try to walk before you can run. Run before you can walk. So to start with, maybe just move between these 2 strings. So you're going to play the top one, maybe 4 times, then the second one, and then the first one again. And then eventually you want all 4, so you go down across and back again. As you start to get better at it, maybe you don't need to do 4 times, you could do 2 times. So I'm going to do 2 times now. Oh, eventually 1 time. So I'm going to do 1 time now. 1, 1, 1. Back up again. So when you do this, you might find that your hand bounces back and mutes the string, which you don't want. So don't be afraid to quite boldly move through the string onto the next string. You'll barely notice this happening when you go fast. Your hand's coming away before it even has time to really feel like it's done that. But that's kind of what I'm doing when I play. I'm making sure that finger's out of the way. You have to deliberately train your finger to do that. Otherwise it will just bounce back like this. So you're pushing it onto the string below. Make sure you rest and stretch your fingers every now and again, because when it's new to you, you get quite tense. So now let's have a look at the scale of G major. We often play in pentatonic scales, penta being 5, pentatonic, 5 note scales which don't have 2 of the notes in. But you want to learn to play all 7 notes. Not all tunes are pentatonic, and you need to know where they are anyway. So the G, we're not going to worry about the D string at the moment, which is string 4. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing now. 1, 2, 3, 4. This lower string, string 4. We're going to start from string 3. That's our G string. That's the scale we're going to play. So we're going to go G. Then we're going to put. Then it's fret 2 of that same string. Then it's the open string, next string, string 2. String 2 fretted on 1. Open string 1. string 1 fretted on 2, string 1 fretted on 4, string 1 fretted on 5. Coming down again. 5, 4, 2, O, next string, 1, O, next string, 2, 2, O. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen, it's making me mess up. So I'm going to do that again without looking at the screen. So here we go. 3rd string, O, 2, next string, O, 1, next string, O, 2, 4, 5, coming down again, 5, 4, 2, O, 1, O, 2, O. Now if you were going to carry on down, you would go to the 4, the 2, and the O. Back up again maybe. Kind of nice to finish back on the G. So if you do go down there, come back up again. Note that that string 4 is the same as 1. So you did these same fingerings, didn't you? 4, 2, O. Down here it's 4, 2, O. So it's the same note.